Lacrosse Field as the Air Force defeats the University of Denver Pioneers 12-10. First time that they have beaten the University of Denver since 2009. They had to suffer 14 straight losses, but today it all went Air Force. And we talked about this. I think I asked you the question, Denny Bellissimo, that low-scoring affair, who did it favor? The Air Force Academy Falcons. That's exactly what happened today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the big thing that I was worried about coming in today was the face-off circle. So we saw that Denver pretty much just won the first 5, 6, and then Air Force started changing things up, putting a long pole out there, and all of a sudden it stopped going Denver's way. Air Force was able to score in bunches and then never look back.
You're getting a pretty good view of some of the Air Force Academy players visiting with fans in the stands. It's been a long famine for Air Force, but it ends now. And the University of Denver got off to a 2-goal lead. And then here came the Falcons, led by that man right there, number 45, Brandon Dodd. Had a hat trick in the first half, and he wasn't done yet. There's a second goal of the match.
Yeah, obviously, you know, Denver didn't read their scouting report, because there's a couple times like right here. You cannot leave that man wide open looking at the goal. He is going to bury it every single time. He had 46 goals last year, and he had 5 today.
And Brandon firing the fastball right there, but he had a little help from his friends. There's Josh Yago. He's getting it, and he fires, and he scores. He says, hey, Brandon, I can do this. Does it again.
But Air Force just did a really nice job. They stayed within their offense. They didn't push bad scenarios, high shot percentage, and they just played the perfect game today.
They really, really did. And on the other side, well, you can't say enough about Jason Rose, who got hurt briefly and then came right back in and made some great plays, as Brandon Dodd finishing with 5 goals on the day.
Yeah, Jason Rose did what every goalie wants to do. He had a bunch of saves, a bunch of, you know, stand on his head saves, and he got to slash an attackman while he was at it today and then put the W on.
All right, and speaking of Brandon Dodd, 5 goals on the day. Brandon Dodd, our player of the game, and I'll tell you what, you could have given it to a lot of people. The senior out of Logan, Utah. Brandon, you finish up your Air Force Academy career. I'll just have you turn this way so the fans can see you, not me. But Brandon, what a great way to finish up your Air Force Academy career. You beat the University of Denver. Talk about the game.
Yeah, we came out flying. We lost a little bit of the faceoffs, but we kept our composure on D and made the best of our opportunities on offense as well.
A little bit about this week in practice, what was said, what did Coach Wilson stress, what did he say about the matchup today?
I mean, most of our focus is every day is on getting 1% better. We didn't get the result we wanted last week, but we push for 1% better every day, and we hope it'll attribute to the next game.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, this is a team, and you've been with this club. This team is not afraid to face national powers. I remember when you opened against Virginia last year, ranked number 1. How does a game like this, and of course going to Ohio State where you christened their new facility, but how does a game against Ohio State prepare you for something like this?
Well, like they say, iron sharpens iron, and we always like to play the better teams because it helps prepare us for later in the season and conference tournament in May when we're in really tight games.
And I'll tell you what, it's early in the season. You got Colgate next week, and I have a feeling you celebrate tonight, you enjoy tomorrow, and watch the Super Bowl, and then Monday it's back to work.
Yeah, on to the next one for sure.
All right, Brandon Dodd, congratulations. 5 goals on the day for the senior from Logan, Utah. Coming up next, we'll have Coach Bill Wilson talk about today's game. As a matter of fact, Coach is right over here. And Coach Wilson, wow, that's all I've got to say. A long famine from 2009 to here. Now it's time for the feast. You win it today. Big game today.
Really proud of the guys. Our administration's done a great job also getting this field ready for game day, and just really thankful for everyone that put their time, effort, and energy into getting ready for today. But really proud of our guys for getting ready for their next opponent after last week and learning and getting 1% better in everything that we do. And you know, we have guys break the huddle, and they always say, got your back. And the challenge to us was to make sure that we were helping each other out in every aspect of the game and not trying to do it all by ourselves.
Fairly low-scoring affair, and how much did that favor you?
I think in general our guys are going to just make the next play. I think that they I think the face-off game was a big part of the game. Ground balls, possessions, and we had a number of guys that were part of that face of the game, and we're able to keep ground balls and possessions at around 50-50, and that I think was a major factor today.
A little bit about, it looked like there was a little discussion between you and the officials and also with the University of Denver head coach. What was going on there, if there was any big deal at all?
Not a big deal at all, just part of the game. Communicating, that's all.
Right. Yep. All right. Well, I'll go with communicating, sir. But and now you've got Colgate. You're now 1-1 in the year. You got Colgate, and I guess you go back to work on Monday, or you let the guys. What will you say to this team after a big victory like this today, 12-10?
I think that the guys would be the first ones to say it back to the coaching staff. Hey, we just have to prepare for our next opponent and be workmanlike over the course of the week and be hunters. And that's the mentality. So
29 players returning from last year's club. You go 8-7. I know it's still kind of early, but you're still looking at some mix and match positions as far as who plays well with who. I mean, today I think you got a lot of questions answered. Is that a fair assessment?
I think that our guys did a good job of making decisions, right? From defense to offense between the lines. It's about number of possessions and your efficiency, right? So I do believe that we're going to continue to play more players as the season progresses, and we're going to continue to play the guys that are executing. And today you saw a number of guys on both ends of the field. So we're looking forward to our guys' continued growth as a team and playing together.
All right, I'm going to ask you this. 6th year as head coach. How big is this win as a head coach for you?
Well, I think that when you beat a team that's ranked opponent, I think it's a good thing for your program. It's a good thing for it's a great experience for your team. When you compete against the top teams in the country, you kind of can measure yourself. And I think if you asked our players, they would say that they have a lot of work to do, and they're going to watch the video and they're going to get better next week. But of course, it's always good to beat a ranked team, and Denver is going to be a very good team this year. Coach Tierney does an outstanding job, and his staff and all their players they're going to continue to progress. So I'm looking forward to see what they do, and hopefully they have a great run the rest of the way.
All right, a great win today, Coach, as the Air Force Academy defeats the University of Denver Pioneers by the score of 12-10. Thank you, Coach, for stopping by. We do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we are going to remind everybody our next contest here on Falcon Vision will be against Colgate. That will be a noon start here in the Mountain West. So for our entire cast and crew, and for Danny Bellissimo, I'm Jeffrey Orman. Your final score, Air Force 12, the University of Denver Pioneers 10. We bid you a pleasant good afternoon from the lacrosse field here at the United States Air Force Academy.